Volgarr the Viking 2 is a modern retro love letter to pain and masochism in platforming form, and there are a few Vikings here and there. The original Volgarr came out kind of out of nowhere to be a love letter to the committed, jumping, very brutal difficulty of a game like Ghosts and Goblins, and attracted a cult following of fans looking for that very old school and very difficult charm. And with the sequel, things have certainly come back with some small but still very noticeable changes to the formula. It is several years later and Volgarr is now older and I guess wiser, and his sworn enemy has returned, and now he must walk, slash, jump, and spear throw his way through stages to save the world. As with the first game, each level is a handmade gauntlet of death traps, enemy triggers, spawns, and lots of ways for you to accidentally go into a spike, death pit, or enemy sword. Now, our combat here is still very much on the basic side. You have your sword, and you can also throw a spear or charge the spear for an enhanced shot. In the air, your jump can turn into a double jump, which you also do a spin attack when you're in the middle of that. Now, with the level design, this is handled very tightly. The game is built on a very precise global timer for how everything moves and behaves through it. Enemies will spawn at specific spots, they will attack you in somewhat predictable patterns, and you're going to have to figure out and memorize all of it if you want to have any chance of surviving in the game. Now, you can only take one hit before you lose a life by default, but as you collect the various pieces of Volgarr's gear, each one not only acts as a kind of passive upgrade, but also gives you an extra hit. And this is important because the game makes use of kind of in-level checkpoints and stage checkpoints. The stage checkpoints are kind of hard points. If you run out of your lives, you will continue back to the start of it, while the in-level checkpoints only work while you have lives. And this can be very daunting. The game kind of follows in a very similar style of that of R-Type or Contra, in that it's very easy provided you don't take any damage, which, again, I know that's a pretty big duh for everyone watching. But once you get access to the flaming sword that doubles your damage and extends your attack range, life becomes very easier for you. But take a few wrong hits in the wrong spot, or get knocked back into a death pit and lose your upgrades, and things get very punishing for sure. And this also has to deal with kind of the game's kind of like reward system, which there may be changes to it before this video goes up. Run out all your lives and you'll use a continue. Once you've gone through 6 continues, which yes, that can happen very fast in this game, you will enter undead mode, where you essentially have infinite health. And this kind of puts you on path for the game's bad ending. And there's been a lot of discussion and debates online as to whether or not that's good or bad for a game like this. Once you've played through a level, you'll unlock practice mode, which will let you play through the level at your leisure to learn all the rules and elements of it. And the game definitely, again, follows that kind of arcade or old school mentality that it's not just about you playing this game and seeing the ending. It's about you getting good enough to get through without losing a single continue. And if you're able to do all that, there's even more pain waiting for you. This is a game that I like to describe as this was explicitly designed this way. And a few minutes ago I said this game is very tight. There is like no like fat or padding to how the combat works. Everything is very precise. There's no jank. Other than, again, you're dealing with the idea of a committed base jumping system. And the game would just not work, I think, if they added in any more extra elements to how you move, how you jump, enemies behave, etc. And it's going to attract, again, fans who are looking for a very challenging title. If you're a fan of games like Curse Castilia, then this is an easy recommendation. Now, in terms of overall or any problems I have with it, as I said, the game has that issue where the difficulty spikes are more about kind of losing control over the situation. there are some very tricky jumps in this game, especially in stage 2 and 4, that it can be very easy to lose an essential upgrade or go into a death pit if you're not careful. And I have heard that one of the updates is going to make the checkpointing a little bit more friendlier to keeping your upgrades preserved, because it is a huge world of difference not having upgrades versus having them. The only real enemy designs I have issues with is in the final level, or should I say the 5th level. There is a bonus level that's been kind of spoiled, not spoiled for everyone, where the Reapers are just obnoxious to deal with, and I'm not quite sure if there is an easy way to fight them in close range. The best way I've found is to just snipe them from afar and hope you kill them before they get within their teleporting scythe-throwing attack range. Now, with everything said, Volgarr the Viking 2 is a very well-made and intentional game. This is not going to be the game for everyone. If you are looking for a very responsive and challenging action game, and one that you're going to be playing to improve, rather than playing just to get a high score or, for achievement chasing, then this is going to be the game for you. But if you are easily frustrated or you do not like the kind of Ghosts and Goblins platforming design, then definitely stay away from this game for the sake of your blood pressure and your health. But at some point, I do want to go back and play through it even a third time. The footage that you've been seeing throughout this video is from our first full playthrough of it, with a lot of deaths. My second playthrough, I only continued 3 times, and I'm hoping to do one where I only have no continues at some point in the future. Volgarr the Viking 2 was played on a retail key. Let me tell you, your game of the future does not have to be difficult, brutal, or with Vikings. Please reach out. For those of you who have suffered your way through Volgarr's lands, let me know what your thoughts about this game are down below. And with that said, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and if you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.